Hey loves, I have not gone live in so long. I think it had to be about last year, y'all. But I'm back. I am on here. Make sure you guys double tap that screen for me. Also, I'm actually here to showcase one of my services, which is the Twin Flame coaching that I do. Most of you know me as the Oracle G. I'm an intuitive reader, certified coach, and a guide for twin flames walking the path of healing, purpose, and divine alignment. Okay, so today, I'm just jumping on, getting to know my audience just a bit. I do know there's quite a few people who have been tuning into my videos and leaving comments, and I want to thank you guys so much because I know I don't always get to respond like I want because there's so many comments. But however, I'm here, and if you I think I have the subscription button because I do have some subscriptions available right now, y'all. Okay, so I'm gonna jump in some more when I see some more people come on the live. Just trying this out again. It's been a while since about last year. I may pull some cards this evening too as well. But if you are here for Twin Flame coaching, this is where you need to be. Okay, now you guys, like I said, I am a Twin Flame coach. I am a professor at a major HBCU here in Baltimore. I actually teach in the areas of marriage and family relationships. Okay, so I do have a master's degree in that. I've been working in the field of human services for over 6 or 7 years now. I am working on getting my LCPC, which is a licensed clinical practitioner. So yeah, but my path is like really more on the spiritual side, y'all. But however, I have helped hundreds of divine feminines and masculines navigate through these karmic cycles, right? Doing the shadow work, and soul purpose activation. Okay, so my work blends a little bit of tarot, ancestral wisdom, and practical transformational tools. Okay, but because this journey is about evolution, it's not just about reunion. All right, so that's why I wanted to get on here and kind of just like commune with you guys just a bit when it comes to this, because a lot of people who are on the twin flame or who may think they are twin flames get this whole journey mixed up. Okay, so it's not about the union, it's not about the romance, it's not about the love, it's about your evolution. Okay, and so that's where I step in at as a twin flame coach. All right, so basically I help you to go through the process, the cycles, help you to evolve, okay, and understand what you're going through each cycle that you may encounter. Your twin flame is basically or your divine masculine basically mirrors your wounds back to you. I do have males who are divine feminine as well, and I have worked with quite a few, and I have females who are operating in the divine masculine energy too, right? But however, the whole goal is really about us balancing our masculine and feminine energy, right? So if you're ready to heal, align, and stop the loop of confusions, I got you. Okay, so let's talk soul truths and spiritual strategies, and that's again what I am here to do. Okay, let's go. So the whole purpose again is about your activation, right? And so every time that divine feminines takes that moment to go within, reflect, face that mirror, it causes divine masculine to activate a little bit more, right? And so because you guys share the same soul, it's like a mirroring soul. Because you guys share the same soul, divine masculine automatically, if they're not resisting, will begin evolving as well. Okay, they will begin awakening. Okay, thank you so much for the gift. I appreciate it, y'all. Thank you for tuning in. female, and it's a lot that goes with this twin flame journey, y'all, like I said. So you got to really look at the bigger picture, and the bigger picture is the legacy that you guys will be building. Okay, so say I am in the chat if you're ready to break those old cycles and call in divine union. All right, again, when you go on this journey, it's not about you attracting your divine counterpart. It's not about you getting in a relationship with your divine counterpart. It's about you evolving. Okay, you coming back home to yourself. Okay, wow. So I feel like, okay, it's some truth to this divine union, right? And so when I think about all the readers that I have listened to when I first became, or when I first realized that I was a divine feminine on a twin flame journey, I used to watch so many different readers, right? Trying to figure out what's going on, trying to understand all of it. Thank you guys again for the gifts. I definitely appreciate you guys. Make sure you double tap that screen for me as well. But yeah, and it's like we get so much information that's not correct, right? There's a lot of misinformation, okay? But before, so let's just say like this. Divine union doesn't start with a relationship. It starts with you. That's just what it is, okay? And before you ever meet your counterpart, before you even recognize them, you're already in a sacred contract with your own soul. And like I said, your divine counterpart is basically you guys share the same soul. So that's why this journey requires a lot of self-work. Okay, you don't even got to worry about them. Only thing you need to be worrying about is you and your own personal healing, right? But the reason so many of us feel stuck is because we're still recycling like the old wounds, the karmic habits, the emotional walls, and survival patterns, right? That we inherited or we learned just from our past situations. And a lot of us are still in survival mode. It's hard to get out of survival mode, right? But the whole goal right now, and especially in this season, in this cycle, is to start to feel safe again, okay? And that's what I also hope to help you, if you do sign up for Twin Flame Coaching, to begin to do. You understand? To come out of survival mode, okay? But let's get real, right? Some of y'all are saying you want the divine union, but not really ready to go through with it, what you got to go through. Like, this is literally boot camp, y'all. And so when you go on, when you sign up for the journey, you're literally signing up saying that, hey, I'm ready to put myself on the forefront to heal so that I can help other people heal. So now you ain't just, you understand, on this journey just having a good old time. No, you up here literally learning lessons, facing your mirror, closing out cycles, right? So that you can keep elevating and evolving on this journey. So then next, guess what? Then you be like me, right? You up here, you're teaching, you're helping, you're pulling cards, you doing whatever in your life outside of social media to help other people, right? Because that's what we're called to do. We're literally called to operate in our gifts. And again, to collaborate with our counterparts to bring to, what's the word that I want to use, to expand. Okay, it's all about the legacy. All right, so that's what we're leaving behind. We're leaving behind this legacy. We're building a legacy with our divine counterparts, and it's based off of our gifts. All right, it's based off of the love, right, that you learn, that love of self. Okay, that ends up being magnetized into the world. Now, a lot of times when you say, all right, I'm ready for a divine union, right? But some people still entertain emotionally unavailable people, suppressing your intuition or afraid just to speak your truth, right? And that's not judgment, that's just awareness. And so, again, like I said, it takes work. This ain't no, we just going to do this real quick and then, you know, we move on to the next thing. No. depending on how long it takes you to get through your cycles to heal, depends on how long you're on this journey or how long the process takes, because the journey is never ending. Okay, y'all. So as long as you're moving and living and whatever, you're going to continue to be on this journey. It's just that you get better. All right, you get better with overcoming obstacles. You get better with seeing through the illusions, right? You're not so triggered anymore by certain things because you learned to face it and you learned to heal that aspect of yourself. And that's where your divine counterpart shows up at. Okay, so they're literally there to mirror back to you your wound. So the best thing would be to face your mirror and not run from it. And a lot of people run from the connection because guess what? It hurts too bad. It hurts too bad to face that mirror. And then when it comes from a person that you love, then bam, it's even worse. The only thing that you know is that I need to get away from this person. Now, this ain't for people that are not connected to their divine counterpart. Some of us do have twin flames, some of us don't, right? But that's where it comes in, where you could get a twin flame reading just to find out if somebody that you may have in mind is your divine counterpart. Okay, but otherwise it's one of those connections that I feel like is, yes, it can be very toxic, but it's not one of those connections where it's abuse. Okay, they mirror back to you your wounds. They're not abusing you physically, and even if they are abusing you physically and mentally or whatever, you need to get away. And a lot of times we get it misconstrued and thinking that, hey, being on this journey means staying. No, it don't. Being on this journey means leaving. Okay, leaving what no longer serves you, speaking your truth. All right, and operating in your higher self at all times. Okay, you're not called to wait for anyone, and you're not called to stick around and deal with bullshit. Okay, but you can't call in divine union while tolerating trauma bonds. Just can't. Okay, a lot of us are trauma bonded to people, and we call it love. It's not. Okay. You can't call in a divine union while denying your worthiness, right? You can't call in divine union while ghosting yourself. And we deny our worthiness, some of us, by allowing dishonoring treatment. Okay, that's what that means. And I can say, just personally for myself, it took me a long time to really see myself, right? I think I just started seeing myself maybe last year. And here I am, 45, getting ready to go on 46 in September. Like, to really see myself, I was blown. Like, I couldn't see myself before, right? Because I still wasn't understanding how worthy I was. But that came from years and years and years and years of trauma, going back to childhood, going back to an ex-husband, and I was always one who always overgive, right? I overdo every goddamn thing, right? That's what I was doing. Now I don't. Now I understand what equal reciprocity means, y'all. Okay, but it took me a while to get there, and so that's what I've been learning on my journey. For the most part, is literally operating in my most authentic self and not afraid to be me, not afraid to use my power, not afraid to say no, not afraid. You understand? Like, that's what we're being called to do, right? We can't ghost ourselves. We can't dishonor ourselves. And as divine counterparts or people, we can't accept any type of behavior that is below, you understand, standard of good, right? If it's not in truth, you cannot be connected to people who are dishonoring, who wear masks, things like that. It just doesn't work. They'll vibrate right out of our frequency, right? We're called to break cycles. We're called to break patterns and habits and mindsets. This is why you may find that you'll lose friends on this journey, okay? Not everybody understands what this journey means. So this is not something that you can talk to people about, right? Because sometimes people just go be like, wait a minute, you need to, why you doing this, da 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 da. But really what you're doing is throughout your connection with your counterpart is basically using them to evolve. Okay. When my twin used to trigger me, I used to be like, you know what, thank you. Because every time you trigger me, you force me to face my mirror, and guess what? Bam, I just leveled up. That's just what I just leveled up. Thank you. Come on, bring it on. Okay. My divine counterpart knows that he is a twin flame now. He just began awakening now. Okay. But however, yeah, we know what it is. We know what it means when it's like, up, face that mirror, up, this is what you're missing. Okay. Because we really have this goal of evolving so that we can do our work, right? So that we can do what we are called to do here on planet Earth, right? But breaking the cycles basically mean facing yourself. It means sitting with the shadow, the abandonment, the fear of being too much or not enough. It means learning to self-regulate when you're triggered instead of shutting down or running or blocking people, right? It means knowing the difference between being called higher and being emotionally manipulated, okay? Because when you break the old contracts, you make space for the new ones to be fulfilled. That's what the goal is, y'all. We trying to walk into new beginnings. We trying to come into these new cycles as whole, okay? So that we can attract healthy love, right? We can attract healthy situations, okay? I'm a little new to the TikTok live thingy, so forgive me, y'all, if I'm not responding as I should to comments or anything like that, because I don't know what buttons to push, okay? But I can say thank you. Thank you so much, y'all. But connecting to your divine union energetically basically is about you being in alignment, right? So it'll call for it's just literally calling for you to ground yourself at all times. Like, it's every single day you got to do something to ground yourself and to regulate your emotions. You know what I'm saying? If you trigger, you got to do something to bring yourself down, back centered, right? You got to speak to your inner child. You got to make your inner child happy again, right? You always are being called to take care of yourself on a daily basis, because that's love, that's self-love, right? You need to go out, ground yourself, right? Swim, meditate, Reiki, acupuncture. If it's exercising, just make sure you're getting something in every day, because the more clear you are energetically, the more clarity you have, okay? And also, when you are balanced energetically, you and your twin flame usually will be on the same frequency, and that's how the two counterparts can collaborate, right? They have to be on the same frequency. So if one is vibrating low, guess what? The other one's vibrating low again, right? Because you're mirroring that energy, and then you got your runner chaser dynamic, okay? Divine union doesn't mean perfect harmony 24/7, y'all. So don't get it twisted, because it's not. It means both souls are committed to evolving, not escaping. Okay, so like if me and my twin do have issues, we know how to resolve them. Where before we didn't. I was out of there. You know what I'm saying? She's a runner. She's a track star. That was me, right? At one point. But now it's like, no, we're going to face it and we're going to figure it out. Even if it means, we got to go to our handy dandy cards sometimes and pull, just to see what spirit is saying, right? It's truth, it's triggering, it's transformation. Okay, it's love that reflects your light in your wounds so that you can alchemize them both. You become so powerful as you move through these cycles. You remember who you are, okay? As divine feminine, divine masculine, as light workers, right? It's like the kind of love that you're looking for, it can't come in if you're still stuck in a loop. So you begin to ask yourself, what cycle ends with me? What version of me is rising to receive the love I've been asking for? We pray for love. We pray for relationships. We are praying for so much. And No one's willing to sacrifice something to receive it, which is what? The ego. So as you are releasing the ego, guess what? Then you're calling in your blessings, because now you're becoming aligned, or you're on the same frequency as the blessing, right? Because that's how the universe works. It works by energy. That's how we manifest. That's how we call or set our intentions, and we see the blessings come in, right? A lot of times it's because when it happens, and it happens quickly, it's because we have released the fear. We have released the patterns, the behaviors, right? The worry that comes behind it, okay? So I want to just close with like a guided affirmation, y'all. And so if you are ready to break the pattern and call in divine union, say it with your chest, okay? I am ready. I am healed. I am aligned. I am choosing love that sees me, grows me, and honors me. Because divine union starts within. And when you rise, love rises to meet you. So let me know if you like this, okay? Quick message, put a blue heart in the comment section for me. I do thank you guys for tuning in and listening to me, because I know I can go on and on and on and on, right? But I'm going to try to make it a habit to get on live and do some puller cards. I may pull cards, you guys, where you can ask questions. And I might do that like a 10-minute session tomorrow. So let's aim for 9 o'clock live tomorrow. You can ask one question and I'll pull a card to respond. And that's going to be like a 10-minute session. So don't miss out, okay? 9 p.m. I see y'all. All right, y'all. Peace out.